Welcome everyone.
Hi,
welcome back. Hello. So I am Shanna Shine.
And I'm Jenny.
And this is Girl, You Guessed It. Okay. Everyone be sure to follow, subscribe, whatever platform that you're on.
Tell your mama,
tell your daughter, friends, your sisters, whoever needs to hear this, okay? Because today we have a special guest, okay? This is season 3, all right, everyone? Season 3.
And if you don't know, you can go look at our other seasons on our YouTube.
Yes. So today we have the beautiful Miss Carmelle Bias, who's with us. Thank you so much for joining us. She has a nonprofit called Women in Business Expo Group. And thank you for joining us from Seattle, Washington. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is a great platform here to be on this morning here in Seattle, Washington.
Yes,
thank you.
And so we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into the interview. Our first question for you, Miss Bias. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, it's okay. Carmelle Bias. Exactly, you have it right.
Share with us 3 characteristics that describes you as an individual.
Oh, 3 characteristics that describe me best. I will say strong-willed, very caring, but then also too, I will say very understanding. Very understanding. So I'm going to say understanding, caring, and strong-willed. Those are my 3 that best describe me.
And do you think
that's right off the top of my head?
Okay. I like that.
That's good.
And do you think that has been like the foundation in your success? And do you think that like it was the start of that, of your success in your business?
Well, I think me being very strong-willed is a good characteristic and something it is that I've had definitely my whole life. Even as a kid, I was very strong-willed and also too very independent. It was very hard for other people to tell me what to do because once my mind is made up on something, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's very, I have to be challenged in order for someone to be able to change my mind about something, especially when it's something that I'm passionate about.
Yes,
something it is that I strongly believe in too.
Yes. Wow.
So my will is, my strong will is very, it's very powerful.
Okay,
and in a good way too.
I love the transparency. That's why we like to start off with those personality questions, just so the audience can get a feel of who you are outside of what you do. And so
yes, based off what you said, where do you think that started? I know you said it started from childhood, but what was, I want to say, the turning point for you to have that much confidence, as well as, being competitive within? Where do you think that started from?
Well, it actually started from, like I said, when I was a child. Mm-hmm. And one thing it is that I have to say is that, growing up in a strong-willed home, my dad was very strong-willed. He believed in the things it is that he did. You believe it, you can achieve it. Mm-hmm. Right? So he taught us that, in growing up. So he was very active in my brother's life and in my life as kids growing up. And he always taught us, whatever it is you're going to do it the best. Mm-hmm. Don't half step with it. You go all the way with it.
Somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needed to hear that.
Yeah. And that strong will was instilled in us as kids. Mm-hmm. and that was one thing it is that he always said to us: if you're going to do it, you be your best at it. Don't half step with it. You go all the way with it and see it all the way through too. Be it good or bad, you see it all the way through.
I love the fact
that's in completing things, because us nowadays, or, as kids, you start things and you stop things and you start and you stop and you halfway through things, but we were trained to see it all the way through. And that's a good characteristic to have, and especially as a business owner and as a leader too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I love the fact that you were exposed to those characteristics at such a young age. I know, like, as a millennial, like, it's important. I know it was annoying hearing those things from my mom, like saying, okay, you need to stay on this, like you need to see all the way, don't quit, don't, see it through, see if it's gonna work out for you, because if you stop something too early, you could mess up your blessing, or you could, mess up something that is aligned for you, that, is supposed to happen, but you messed it up because you didn't have the patience to see it all the way through to the end. So
very good point. And that's another, characteristic is patience. And this is something it is now, like you're saying, it's something it is that I talk about, and what it is that I teach to other business owners. Is that you have to be patient too, to be a good business owner, to be a good anything, and especially nowadays, because the world is so trained to move so fast.
Yes.
Instantaneously. Everything is instantaneously, but not everything is instantaneously. And we have to understand that, and to be a good leader and to be a good business owner, you must have some patience, because it takes that to be able to work with your customers. It takes patience to be able to work with vendors. It takes those patience, to be able to work with guests on a talk show.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, because that is something that we stress, especially to our listeners, because again, like you said, this world, we think we can get it overnight.
Just microwaved. Everything is get something fast.
But having patience as well as discipline is needed, no matter what you're doing, even if you do have your own business or just in life, is needed. Driving to work, you're in traffic. You gotta have patience. Don't get upset. So just being able to use that. So thank you so much. And
these are things it is that nowadays we need to talk about more. We need to maybe teach more. Talk, just keep the discussion going about it, because like I said, the world is so fast paced right now. But these are things that are in the scriptures. These are things that are in the Bible. Come on, this is not anything new, but we have to get back to the foundation of life.
Exactly.
And that is
the foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation and it's cracked,
everything won't fall through. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. Wow.
That's it. And it will fall. Yeah. Wow. So those are, like I said, characteristics are very important, when it comes to being, again, a good business owner, and a good leader. And maybe if it is that someone is not made out to be a business owner, but just being, in life, being a good parent, being a good child, just being, these are things it is that are part of life.
Exactly.
And that's something it is, like I said, I believe that we definitely want to keep in the forefront, and get back to. Yeah, because I think the life, has taken us away from a lot of those things.
And me personally, I appreciate this type of content. Like, even outside, I know this is us hosting the interview, but I appreciate content like this, because you need to be reminded that, like, things are always going to go your way. And just because they aren't going your way, don't mean you quit. That's actually when you're supposed to really, like, okay, this, you get more.
Mm-hmm.
You rather get something at the end of it. You don't want to just quit in between and get nothing. Exactly. It's just, you need let your work be, for something. So I appreciate the messages like this, and you just being reminded.
See it all the way through, because see, God, He gives us vision, and you want to see that vision all the way through. So stick with it. And that's where that strong-willed person, whoever that is out there that we're speaking to, stick with it.
Stick with it. If you didn't hear nothing else yet, stick with it. Because tomorrow you could be in a completely different world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be living a completely different life. You can be one step away from whatever.
Yeah.
So,
can you briefly share a moment where things were not looking up for you and you didn't know what to do? It can be for your career or your personal life.
Yeah. Well, personally, when things weren't looking up, I'll share this with you. is that I was 28 years old when my dad passed away. And as I've said before, he's been a great figure in my life. The importance of having a father in your life, and especially as a woman, it's important. It is important. And he was just, the pillar of my life, But when he passed, that was a very dark time for me. I did not know how I would go on without him, but I had to learn to reflect on what he had taught me, on the knowledge it is that he had given me, on the wisdom it is that he had instilled in me, and that's what kept me going, is I had to reflect back then and remember the things it is that he said to me, and at a time it is when I'm transitioning and don't know which way to go, but then having to reflect back, it was very tough. It was a hard time for me. And especially, having someone it is that's always been there for me, and then suddenly all of a sudden he's taken away,
Right.
and there's someone out there again, who has experienced that. It may not be your father, it might be your mother, or, a brother or sister, whatever the situation is. And I say to you then, if that is the case, reflect on what it is that they have given you, the memory, like I said, the words of wisdom, the knowledge, whatever that is, you reflect back on that, and that's your strength. That word is your strength. The memory it is that they gave you, like I said, the knowledge, the wisdom, the words it is that they said at the time, go back to that. And that will strengthen you through and continue and allow you then to continue to press on and press forward, and there's always going to be tough times. There's always going to be the trials and the tribulations, but we learn as humans to continue on and press on, and don't let your past or what has happened in the past hold you back, to continue to press on and move forward. And that's how it is that I did it, was I had to reflect. I had to go back and get the knowledge and the wisdom and remember those words it is that he said so I could move forward.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, because, like you mentioned that having a father figure is important. And so with me not having a father figure, sometimes I wonder what my life would have been like if I had my father. But then I also, I don't want to dwell in that place. I really don't want to dwell in that place, because it's a reason. It's a reason why my father wasn't there. But, of course, we're going to have those moments. And, being a female, being a woman, being a daughter, I feel as though, having those moments where, you've been able to have that foundation. Sometimes it can shape you in a good way and a bad way. And, not really knowing my dad like that, I wonder sometimes. But I will say,
the thing is, even though your earthly father wasn't here, you still have a heavenly
father. Amen.
And that's what it is that we look to. So even though the earthly father may not, wasn't in attendance or was not around physically or whatever the situation was, God is so good. He still provides. Okay.
Yes. And really,
that's the provider.
Really,
and he's excellent. And like I said, not everybody has the situation it is that I have, but whatever it is that's missing, he stands in the gap. So, it's still good.
Exactly. That's amazing. Yes. And so my spiritual father has been amazing, and he's been amazing. And he's been able to provide the things that I didn't have. And overall, I just see why. And I'm blessed. Yeah. Honestly, I'm blessed. We want to take this time to just share with everyone. We want to share with them, and we want to say thank you all for listening. Again,
thank you.
Again, this is Girl You Guessed It.
You guessed it, the hottest, the
hottest,
#1
boldest talk show. Okay, everyone.
We have lots of interviews available, lots of guests, and like we stated, we have Miss Bias on today. And she's speaking about business, just in how to handle life. And so if you're liking our episodes and you don't know where you want to go and you need some motivation and you need some juice, hop on over.
Yeah.
Share, you get follow, subscribe.
Okay.
Whatever button is there for you to lock in.
We'll wait.
Welcome